Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on April 21st, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So overall in the markets, biggest news today was that oil prices really crashed. There was, at one point, oil was actually trading negative $32. So in terms of what happened was the futures contracts expire tomorrow. The May futures contracts expires tomorrow, and at this point, if whoever's holding the futures contract has to take delivery of oil. And in this case, looks like somebody did not close their positions and all those positions got liquidated today. So fairly large positions. And as that happened, market just dropped and we ended up with negative $32 for price at one point. And then the June futures contract was trading at $21. We'll take a look at that in just a bit. And we saw US oil, Canadian oil as well, actually were both trading at negative for all of those. So overall, this is something that I have never seen. And I'm not even sure if something like this has actually happened ever before, but this was basically a big deal. We generally don't, get negative oil prices. So anyways, as we know, market is really volatile right now. We are seeing a lot of things that either have not happened in the past or they have happened a long time ago. So just keep an eye on things. Now, we did see Canadian dollar got hurt as a result of oil dropping. So that was one thing. And then, so let's take a look at our news that's coming up. Oh, actually, before that, another thing we need to keep in mind, we are also going into earnings season for the stock market, or I should say for companies, which will have an impact on the stock market. So as the stock market basically sees an impact from the earnings season. So this is the first earnings season after we have gone through this coronavirus issue. So as a result of that, earnings should drop. And when the earnings drop, generally we see markets drop as well. So stock markets drop. And when stock markets drop, we generally see Japanese yen and Swiss franc, they get stronger, which means the yen crosses and Swiss franc crosses get weaker. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's go into our news that's coming up. We do have monetary policy meeting minutes, as well as we have conference here from Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Lau. At this point, not really expecting an interest rate cut. Interest rates are already at fairly low levels. The important thing will be to pay attention to what the commentary is in regards to what kind of economic impact is are they looking for essentially, and when do they see a recovery. So that's what we need to look at this point, and what kind of stimulus, of course, if they're adding more stimulus, that's something else we need to look at. Coming up on Tuesday here, employment numbers out of UK. So right now, we are supposed to see more people in terms of our who are claiming unemployment. Now, if the number comes in above this number or higher than this number, and we have seen that from the US, the unemployment figures that were expected, the actuals were actually much higher than that. So in this case, if the actual is higher than the expected here, we're likely to see British pound drop as a result. And then we also have ZEW economic sentiment number. This is also likely to drop, but it looks like we're expecting it to go up. So we'll have to see if, again, this number is worse than expected. We're likely to see euro drop as a result of that. Other than that, not much that's really critical. We will take a look at existing home sales. This number is usually important as well and can have an impact on the US dollar. But other than that, that's it. So let's move on to our charts now. All right, as usual, we'll start off with euro dollar here. Euro, we see that price has held below this resistance level at 1.09, and it hasn't been able to go through this. So this is the third day that price has been trading below this level. And what we can see here is a downtrend. So we had a drop, a pullback, and now I'm looking for a drop again. As long as price stays below 1.09, looking for a drop here, and target is 1.0770. That's the first target. And then below that, we're looking at 1.0720. So bias is bearish for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, this one's also looking bearish. We have a nice bearish candle close. Now, just keep in mind though, we are right into the support level, so we do need to see a break through the support for it to continue further. So bias here is bearish as well, but keep in mind we need to see this. So I'm looking for a break here and then a continuation to the downside. So for some reason, if it does not break through this support level, let's say the employment numbers are much better than what the expectation is, we could see pound go up, which is not my base case scenario, but just in case, if it holds above 1.24, then we're likely to see it go up. But for now, there is pressure, more pressure to the downside. So I am looking for a drop here. So bias here is bearish. And in terms of our targets here, first target is 1.2320, and then below that we have 1.2220. So bias here is bearish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one is also looking bearish. Same thing here. We see that price dropped, pulled back, and now it held below this Friday's low. We have a nice little pin bar here, so looking for a further drop. Same type of move that we saw for or looked at for euro dollar. Same thing here as well. We saw a drop, a pullback. Now I'm looking for a drop here. So in this case, the first target is the base of this candle here, 0.6265, and then below that we're looking at 0.6200. So bias is bearish for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, this one as well, we have a nice doji here, so looking for a drop, and target here is 0.5920, and then below that 0.5880. So bias is bearish here for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, Canadian dollar was weak today because of the oil drop, and we do have a bullish candle close here, so bias is bullish. One thing to keep in mind with this here though is we are into resistance here. So this is where price has been stuck for a little bit. This is the range. Essentially, it's been trading for several weeks now. So we do need to see the price go through this resistance for it to continue higher. If we see price goes into 1.4180 and holds below, then chances are we could see a retracement here back into the range. But my bias is bullish. And once we see a break above 1.4180, next target here is 1.4270. And then above that, we're looking at 1.4340. So bias is bullish for dollar CAD. All right, let's take a look at our commodities. We'll start off with silver here. Silver is holding below our resistance level here. It's kind of held below this 15.50 level. Now I'm looking for a further drop. It is making lower highs and lower lows. With this one, as long as it holds below 15.40, I will look for a drop back down towards 14.65. So first target is 15, then 14.65. Bias is bearish for silver. Gold here. So gold, we saw that price jumped up quite a bit, and now it's on its way down. So with this one as well, we are seeing lower highs here. And this is the type of move I am expecting. So as long as price holds below 1700, I am looking for a drop back down. First target is 1675, than 1650. So bias here is bearish for gold. Oil here, oil has had quite a day, as we talked about here. So this price here of 21, this is a June contract. And right now, as we can see, price is right into that support. In the weekly, we talked about this being bearish. I just didn't expect it to move all the way into the support in one day, but here we are. So bias is still bearish. And now we are into levels that we haven't really seen since 2014 at least. So in this case, price is pushing lower here. So there is, it's looking heavy. So with this one, what I'm looking at is the support level. It is an important support level. This is where price has been stuck for a little while here. So this could prove to be or a strong support level. So keep that in mind. But bias is bearish. Once we see this give out, we could see it drop further. And in this case, next target I would look at would be $18. So bias is bearish for oil. Copper here, not doing so well. As we can see, price has been holding below this 2.30 level here. We have a nice bearish engulfing candle. So bias is bearish. Watch out for a pullback potentially into 2.28. But once we see a hold below 2.28, I am looking for a drop towards 2.22 and potentially lower into 2.20. So bias is bearish for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin also holding below this resistance level at 7,200. We have a bearish engulfing candle close here. Watch out for a pullback into 69.65-ish level. And then I would look for a drop. Bearish bias, basically. Looking for it to come back into the bottom of that range here. So this is the range that price has been trading in for a bit here. And I'm looking for it to drop back down into 6,500. So bearish bias for Bitcoin. All right, stock market here. We have a bearish engulfing candle close for S&P 500. Looking for a drop here. Target would be 2750. And then should it go below that, we're looking at 2700. So bearish bias for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, this one is also looking bearish, but keep in mind, this one is into support. So we do need to see a break through this level for it to continue lower. This has proven to be an important support, so do keep that in mind. But as we can see, this support here was major and it has held below that. So with this holding, now we have a double top here, so just looking for price to continue lower. Target here is 8,500. So bearish bias for Nasdaq as well. Dow Jones here, this one's also looking bearish. We have a bearish engulfing candle close here, looking for it to come into the support at 23,000. And should it manage to go below that, we're looking at 22,600. So bias is bearish here for Dow Jones. And next, we're looking at DAX here. DAX still holding below this resistance level at 10,800. So bias here is bearish as well. I'm looking for price to move back down. And this one has also been maintaining this little range here. This is where it's been trading. So I'm looking for it to come back down into 10,200. So DAX is bearish as well. And last here we have, or not second last here actually, Footsie here. Footsie also kind of range bound here for a bit. So this is the range, this is the big range that it's been trading in, but it is looking bearish. It is into support, so we have to keep that in mind. Bias is bearish. Next target here is 5580. And then below that, we're looking at 5450. So bearish bias for Footsie. And now, last, we have Nikkei. Nikkei, we have a nice bearish candle close. As we can see, this has also been stuck in a bit of a range here. And this is the range it's been trading in. we see price has rejected the high. Now I'm looking for a drop back down towards the support level at 19,000. So bearish bias here for Nikkei as well. So that's it for today. Guys, have a wonderful trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.